now we are almost in verge of module 2, which is embedded C basics. I believe we have covered most of the things that needs to be covered, right? So with that, we can go for next phase, designing a product, right? Before doing it, we have to understand some of the storage class modifiers, right? There are nearly 5 modifiers are there: extern, statics, auto, constant, and then there is one more thing. I think it is missed here. That is a very famous questions if you go for interview. Register, near and far pointer. These are the things, right? Let us discuss one by one. I think I missed. I come to this one before discussing one more thing. Let me do that first. It is storage class modifier. I think something is missing. Wow. Yeah, I think I misplaced. Yes. Preprocessor directives. Okay, preprocessor directives after this storage class. Okay, no problem. We can go there after this. Right. So let us study them one by one. What is extern? Extern means you can declare a function or a variable in one file and can bring that variable and use it in another file, which means extending that particular variable to this particular variable or a function to this particular module. So what is the advantage of this? You can define all your global variables in one file and a global function that you want to use across different modules in one file right now, and then you can extend that to the function where you want to use, to the module where you want to use, right? So most of the header files that we have in C, right, they have been written like this only. This helps us to organize our files in appropriate way and also allot the memory for all global variables in a single location or a consecutive locations. Right now, that is the aim of extern. The extern storage class can be used for both functions as well as variable. Whereas the other storage classes that we have, static, auto, const, register, these can only work on variables, not on function. Right now, static, auto, constant, register, these sort of things. Right. Okay, what does it mean by static? Static, as we discussed before, it is a permanent local variable that we are creating. That means we create function in which it is declared. In that function, it can be used. Right. But it is created only one time. You can ask me a question. If I call a function 10 times, is it created only one times and reused again? Yes. You can create the static variable only one time. Thereafter, they will simply use it. Declaration will happen only one time and they use rest of the RAM, not the stack memory. These are some of the things that we have to remember about the static. Right. And then the auto modifier is used to, our auto storage class is the default storage class for all variables in C programming. So when you don't use any storage class, by default the compiler assumes auto. Auto means what? Allot the memory in stack. That is what it is. That is the use of auto modifier, which means that automatic deallocation will happen. The moment you come out from the function, they will deallocate and will assign that memory for someone else. So those things will happen with auto modifier. Constant means the constant can be stored in program memory as well. Right, the const modifier used to define certain things which is not going to change in entire execution of the program. In those cases, we can go for const. Register is just a recommendation that we do to the compiler for a variable for when you declare a variable and you use register as storage class, the compiler won't use available register for this variable mandatorily. It is just a recommendation. I want to make I have a rider variable which has to go updated very fast. In that case, I can ask the compiler to allot the memory or to use the registers for that particular variable, because every microcontroller and microprocessor will have auxiliary registers. So the registers are within the chip itself, so that to accessing them is very easy. If you have something in RAM, they have to go to RAM and have to access it. But when something is within the chip, so it will be more fast, right now. So in those cases, they can go for register storage class. But what we have to understand is declaring register storage class doesn't mean that they are going to use a register for sure. It is the recommendation. If there is no register available free to use, compiler can choose the stack memory as well. So it is the decision of compiler whether to use some auxiliary register or not. But it is a recommendation. If there is some available register, obviously compiler will use that one. Right now. Understood? Then we have a near and far pointer. The near pointer and far are the modifier used with pointer variable. Near is used to point a memory area which has a range between 0 to 255, 0 to FF. It has a block to point. Beyond that point, it cannot go. But far pointer is not like that. It has wide range of address from 00000 to FFFF. So we have a very wide range. The far can point any memory location in the RAM. The near cannot do like that. Again, the near and far are rarely used right now. So if we require them, if our architecture support that, then we can go for it. Otherwise, people won't use it. They will simply use a point. That's all. Right now, to get the complete understanding of these modifiers, we are going to try some example. First, we will do exercise for extern. Right now, what is mean by extern, how to use extern, those things. Let me
Yes, sir.
explain it. Right now. So here, so notepad plus plus x test dot c. Here I create some global variable like a global. I think global using Python script, actually int rider equal to 0. Then int add fact int x. right now. One, we have a function that find a factorial of a number and have a variable which has the value 0. But these two functions, maybe I think we have to include, I don't think we require it. So this is, yeah, maybe you can call this as a module. In this module, we have a global variable and a global function. We want to use it in our program that we are going to create next, right? So I just save this program, right? And then I create another program. Right? Ext main.c. Here, hash include stdio.h void main of. Here I can say extern int factorial int. What is the meaning of this? We say that we are declaring, we are going to use a function that is defined somewhere, not in this file. We are going to use a function which is defined in another module. But what is that module? We will give that module during compile time. Right. So they have to read the function from that code from that one and have to bind that code with this main program. That is what they have to do. So what I am saying here, I say printf.
So the file containing this function should be in the same folder, right?
Not like that. It can be in different folder also. But let me tell you how we can refer the file's location right now.
Okay, sir.
Enter number right now. So scanf, we have a variable here into x %d address of x, then x equal we need a print f factorial this number %x d is %d, right? Then we are passing x factorial of x. If we compile this program alone, we will get error. Do you agree? If we compile this program alone, we will get an error. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Let us see what we are getting. gcc main.c -o xt main.exe. undefined reference to fact. So it throws an error. Now I slightly modify the compilation syntax. gcc ext main dot c ext test, because in that only we have a
Function.
definition for fact, no?
Yes, sir.
And then o ext main dot exe. Now it is compiling. We don't get any error. Right. Let me run now. ext main. Enter a number. So I enter 6. It is 720. That means 1 into 2 into 3 into 2 3s are 6. 6 4s 24. 24 into 5 120. Right now 120 into 6 what? I think 120 into 6 720.
720. 720.
720. Right now. Correct only now.
Yes, sir.
So we get correct result.
So it will be like in the
So
compilation we need to
we need to pass that file, but there is a procedure to extend a global function in your module. That is, for that only we are using this extern keyword, which means that it is an external function, not a part of this module. Where we are going to give that one? We are going to give that during compilation. But let us say we have 1,000 functions. We have them in many modules right now. So what we can do is, we can do one, anyhow, we have to give that file in the path right now. In compilation thing, we have to give the path. This extern in fact we have, right? We can put them in a header file and can simply include that. If we have many functions to call,
okay.
right now, so we can put all those functions instead of having them, all of them in our main module. Use the extern and then the function name in a separate module and include that module as a header file.
Okay.
So you can do like that as well. But whatever you do, while during compilation, you have to specify that file name. If it is not specified, they will throw error because that code is missing, right? So they will throw that one error. Now you clear, right, about extern keyword, how it is used. So don't think that extern in the main representing the function prototype. The syntax is similar to function prototype. If we don't have extern, which means that then we consider that as a function prototype. We have to define the factorial function in the same module. When we use extern, the definition is somewhere, not in this module. We are just going to use that function. That's all. Right.
Sir, one doubt I have, sir.
Yeah.
So while like using the GCC compilers, we are specifying the file name while compiling, but while using the IDE, we are directly like directly we have the option like compile. So in that we
Thank
don't
you.
have option
Thank you.
to. Yes, sir.
What they will do, they have, if you have an IDE, in IDE they have a solution explorer. There we add file, no, source files, multiple source files we add to the project tree. When we add multiple projects, they will use those file names during compilation. Though there is a single compile command in that IDE, they will pass the files you have attached with the project when they are compiling. That will happen automatically. Here we are doing manually. That is the difference. That will be taken care by IDE, in short.
Okay.
Got it now?
Yes, sir.
So